Hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. So, Henry Cejudo beats TJ Dillashaw by knockout. I don't know how many of you guys expected that, but I actually kind of did. I placed the bet above on fight night last night, and I just thought TJ looked drained, man. I know in the last video I talked about how he's doing it in a scientific way, and he's doing it the right way as best he can, but I mean, he's too big to be fighting at flyweight. So everybody's talking about the controversial stoppage. I don't think it was that controversial. I mean, if it kept going, he's just going to get beaten up worse. TJ Dillashaw is becoming chinny. I think that's just a reality we have to face. They'll probably have this fight again at 135, I suspect. And a whole bunch of people, I'm going to guess, are going to be on TJ to win this fight. And I think it's going to be the same result. I think it's going to be more drawn out. I think his chin will be a little bit better, but the guy's getting chinny. He got dropped by Cody Garbrandt. Yes, it was a legit shot, but I don't buy into that whole thing that guys get dropped and they have that fast recovery. So, like, they're good, they're in shape. Okay, maybe that helps you recover, but I don't believe that you getting dropped and recovering fast means you have a good chin. You have a bad chin. You got dropped. That's just what happens. So I think TJ Dillashaw, I think he's more skilled than ever before, but his body's going to start to fail him here. So I actually believe they're going to have a next fight. It's going to be at 135 for that belt. TJ versus Henry once more, and I believe that he's going to knock him out again, and I'll probably bet on that one too. I believe that TJ is going to be a slight favorite in that one, just like this time, and we're going to have the same result drawn out over a longer period of time. So yeah, next fight we had Greg Hardy versus Alan Crowder. That's not helping Greg Hardy at all, man. It's rather unfortunate. I don't think he did it on purpose. I was kind of back and forth of whether he did or didn't. I guess I never really thought that he did it on purpose, but I was wondering kind of how apologetic he really was. To the media afterwards in the press conference after the fight, he was saying he was being very apologetic and sorry to everybody who he disappointed, including Crowder. But I don't understand why you wouldn't apologize to Crowder in the octagon. You need him in the face. You knew it was illegal if you didn't know it was illegal when you did it. You knew immediately afterwards when Dan Miragliotta freaking tackled you. And he never apologized to him. Guys are usually very respectful after fights, and he just kind of seemed to be so disappointed, feeling so sorry for himself that he forgot to feel sorry for Crowder. He never apologized to Crowder, and that's not going to get him any fans. As Dana said afterwards, he's probably going to fight again in the UFC. I'm sure he's going to learn from at least those mistakes, be a little bit more careful in those situations. He's what I thought he was, except he was a little bit less skilled than I thought he was. So yes, he could out wrestle Crowder for the most part. That's just what happens when you're a 280-pound freaking crazy good athlete. But striking wasn't quite as good as I thought. He has okay boxing. I guess I thought he'd pick it up a little bit quicker just because he's so athletic. But everything takes time to learn, and I thought that was showing. Jiu-jitsu, we didn't think he was going to have great jiu-jitsu. He doesn't have enough time to train for that. He's only been training for, I believe, less than 2 years, maybe 2 years now. And yeah, I don't know. I was a little disappointed with that. Very disappointed with how the fight ended. Hope Crowder's going to be okay because, I mean, those knees shorten your career. And yeah, so that was that for that one. Benavidez versus Ortiz. This was a fight that I actually really enjoyed. I feel a lot of people may be disappointed. There's no fireworks. Benavidez has been knocking guys out recently. Ortiz has been knocking guys out recently as well. And you didn't get any of that this time. Ortiz did get dropped at one point. However, overall, I thought Ortiz was doing much better in the stand-up. And it just turned into a complete grappling match, which was fun to watch. Very high-level grappling. I don't know how the hell these guys didn't get tired. I mean, they're moving so fast, using so much energy, and they just kept going and going. It was extremely impressive to me. I thought Benavidez did win. I thought he kind of won via control in the first and third round. I gave the second round to Ortiz. And let's talk about what Ortiz looks like. He basically looks like a freaking like a little person, man. Not gonna lie, he looks like a giant little person. His torso looks like should be for a 7-foot NBA player or something crazy. I don't know, unfortunate gene pool. I mean, it makes it harder to block your body with your elbows too, right? His got that huge torso to protect, and his arms aren't that long, so he's making the most out of what he was dealt. So props to him. Next fight, I didn't actually watch this one. I saw quick highlights of it, but what more do we need to say about Gregor Gillespie versus Yancy Medeiros? Other than Yancy Medeiros landed one shot the whole fight, and Gregor just completely dominated him. Kind of what I expected to happen. I wasn't going to bet this fight just because the line was kind of insane. It was like minus 500 or more than that at one point. And the other thing I wanted to mention here is Gregor Gillespie and Yancy Medeiros both cut very little weight. It's obviously new to Yancy. Yancy used to cut a lot of weight, he even fought at welterweight. But these guys are both like 160 pounds, and they cut like 5 pounds to make weight. New way of doing things. Gregor's done that his whole MMA career, and Yancy's kind of taking notes on that, I guess you'd say. But I thought it was hilarious because they showed Max Holloway was in the crowd for that fight, obviously to support Yancy, his teammate. And Max fights at 145 pounds, and we know he cuts a lot of weight, but man, he looked like 200 pounds or something. I'll attach an image here of what his face looked like, but he looked huge, man. So I just thought it was funny because Gregor and Yancy probably both weighed around 160 pounds in the octagon, and beforehand, walk around weight is right there, whereas Max is looking big, man. Another fight was Van Zandt versus Ostovich. Ostovich was dominating for almost this entire fight. Van Zandt got lucky. I'm glad she did because I had some money on her. And I don't know if there's anything more to say about that one. And nothing really impressed me. Yeah, I don't know. Paige is still showing some serious holes in her game, but tough as nails and was able to get through it. So yeah. Next fight was very interesting. Glover Teixeira versus Carl Roberson. I picked Carl Roberson to win this fight, and I thought he did. I honestly thought he did. Glover went for the takedown. Roberson started elbowing the crap out of him. Teixeira's equilibrium all messed up. I don't know if he was completely unconscious, but his body gave out on him. Slumped to the ground. Roberson going for the finish. Somehow Teixeira survives. Teixeira ends up on top eventually and submits him. So props to Teixeira. Reminded me of Fury versus Wilder back from the dead. So the zombie Glover Teixeira still winning, almost 40 years old. But I don't see him beating the top guys. Guys like Dominic Reyes, like the new breed. Obviously John Jones, Alexander Gustafsson. I don't see him ever being able to beat them. He's too old. His prime's long behind him now, and I honestly thought he should have retired in this fight like somebody else did on this card. So next up we had Cerrone versus Hernandez. I picked Hernandez to win this fight. Funny enough though, right before the fight started, I saw Cowboy walk out. He just looked so game, so ready to go. I changed my mind right then and there that I thought Cowboy would win. I put like $5 on him just because I saw it's like he's ready. He was like plus 185. It's like we might as well just do this. So I did it, and he won. It just kind of showed the lack of experience for Hernandez there. I think Hernandez is a very bright future. He's a tough guy. But yeah, Cerrone's just, the experience just was too much for him. The toughness. And the biggest thing I noticed for Cerrone, he's talking all this, he's talking so much about his son. About he's fighting for his son now. He needs the belt now. He wants to like make a legacy. He wants to make money. And he really, really wants the belt. And you can see that because he went for a takedown. That's not a Donald Cerrone thing to do unless you're in deep shit. He was getting hit a little bit, but he wasn't in deep shit. He's trying to win fights now, so that's interesting. A little late in his career, but we'll see how far he gets. But yeah, as I said, I think Hernandez is a bright future. I don't know about his team. I didn't actually see it, but the commentators were talking about his team were very hectic, frantic, not really knowing what to say, and just kind of a big clusterfuck when they were talking to him in his corner. saying like 15 different things that he should be doing, and it's like, you got to keep it simple, man. You got to try to keep him calm, get some oxygen in those lungs, keep him relaxed, and have some recovery between rounds, and it didn't sound like they did a very good job of that. So I'd like to see Hernandez switch teams, or the coaches need to change something, because I think he does have a bright future, but just lack of experience there, I think. Very disappointed about Lipski. I did have money on Lipski to beat Calderwood. And I didn't even think Calderwood looked that impressive. I know a lot of people were very impressed by her, but she was just pot shotting. There was no combinations. It was one shot. It was a jab. It was a straight. It was a head kick. There was no like combinations of any kind. But game plan was on point. She took her down and completely exhausted her in the first round, and then it was easy from there. So congratulations to Calderwood there. Very, very shallow division, so probably close to a title shot with one win. I think she said, I want to be top 15 with this win, or fight somebody in the top 15 or something to that nature. I don't even think there's 15 people in that weight class in the UFC, so I think you're top 15 regardless. Dennis Bermudez versus T. Edwards. I said Tay before. It's T. My apologies. Lack of experience there. T dropped him early, and I think multiple times, honestly. But I think it just showed Bermudez is a grinder, and he grinded him out. Edwards kind of drowned in there. Edwards, he wasn't looking for a way out. He was surviving some submissions, but he's just, I'm going to say he's not really a fighter. He's kind of like Anthony Johnson in that way. Where he's really tough, but when the going gets tough, he can't kind of overcome that. There's no question he's a great wrestler. He's a very explosive athlete. He's becoming a good striker. But when you're against these grinders, as I think Bermudez is, it's going to be tough unless you can finish him. Bermudez retired with this one after a whole bunch of bullshit split decisions. Most of those I actually thought he won. So yeah, that was ridiculous, but moved up to 155, got the win, heads out on top, gave a really good speech, retirement speech there as well, and yeah, it was good to see him go out in that way. Yeah, so that's it for that card. See you next time.